Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another short little unboxing video to share with you guys. Actually, it obviously won't be little because there's a whole bunch of stuff here, there's something in particular is very, very interesting. I have not opened these up yet, but I have looked on the outside of the box, so I can't wait to get into them. Thank you so much to, obviously, Kaiser for sending me so many knives over the last month. Appreciate that. I will link these down in the description. It does help my channel when you use those links, but it's entirely up to you. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex and on TikTok at the_metal_complex. Okay. I'm going to start off here with what is almost certainly a fixed blade, but what we have here are folders, and one in particular, when I looked at the outside of the box, was of extreme interest. I probably hinted at it in the thumbnail. This first one here, what is this called? This is called the bow tie, okay? I'm not a big fixed blade guy. I'll still show this to you guys. These are the types of knives that don't usually get like full-on reviews on this channel because, I mean, there's just not a lot to this, right? I guess you put your finger in here, that's fine. If you're interested in this, it's probably not horrifically expensive. In fact, do we have, yeah, it's D2. There's no way that this is expensive. I'm sure it has a sheath on the other side. That's fine. Great. Fixed blade stuff, like I said, not super duper my thing. This one here, I think this is the Brat, which is one of my favorite knives at this price point. Yeah, so they're offering different colors now, which is really cool. Oh boy, is it textured too? Sick! I love this. I love this. You know, I just got on companies for sending me duplications of the same thing, and I said, don't do that unless it's something interesting, right? In a Knife Guy episode, I talked about how I don't love there just being this massive, like, everything is, we're just oversaturated with the plainest, most nothing designs. And I keep getting sent, sometimes in some cases, exactly the same boring stuff over and over again, just in different colors. The reason I'm okay with this is because the Brat is one of my favorite models that Kaiser has ever done. Namely because it's a G10 integral, which is simply not something that we see ever, right? On top of that, we now have this Dark Forest Green G10, and we have a coated blade. Now, you know, what type of coating? Honestly, I'm not sure what it is. To me, it looks something similar to paint, right? It might actually be as good as Cerakote or PVD. Doubtful, right? But okay, that's fine, no big deal. This has texturing now, which is really nice. I like how this looks. It is a fairly aggressive texture pattern, and it will almost certainly fray your pocket up because the pocket clip rides directly on top of that texturing. In fact, I'll put it in my pocket. Yeah, I can feel it. It's not too bad in and out of the pocket, but over time, that texturing will definitely fray you up. But the Brat remains to be one of my favorite knives at about 80 to 90 bucks because it is an integral. That makes disassembly incredibly simple because it's literally just the pivot that you need to remove if you need to get into the internals because the scale is one solid piece. That's actually really cool. I hope that they do a bunch of different versions here. I think it would also be really cool to do an aluminum Brat. Yeah, we'll see what Kaiser does. I really like that one. Okay, so next up we have, and you know, if you're new and you're thinking, which one do I want to do first? I'll do the riverbank. If you're thinking, does this guy, I thought this guy was a knife reviewer. I am, but what you're watching right now is not a review. Just simple unboxing and first impressions of some new products. The ones that are the most interesting will get full reviews down the road. So this is an Azo, which is why I wanted to do it first, called the Riverbank. Nitro V and Blackwood with a steel liner. Okay. Yeah, all right. That's kind of a little bit more interesting in terms of wood. I'm not big on wood scales, but it looks a little bit nicer, right? Outside of that, very simple liner lock. Really, really, really simple. So there you go. This one here, this is the Gemini, which is, of course, Ray Laconico. I think the Gemini is probably one of Kaiser's most... It's hard to say what you would call a flagship model, but I would say the Gemini, definitely. So this looks to be an ultem Gemini, okay? We have that sort of circular pattern that we saw on, I can't remember the model. Plain, straightforward. The Gemini is a great EDC knife, and there's probably still quite a few different variations of it out there, but we have the Ultem and Nitro V. Again, very unlikely that it's going to be an expensive knife. My guess is it should be well under $75, right? But, what are you going to do? Okay, now, it probably seemed like I was speeding through, and I was, right? This is cool. These are all fine. I like these. There's nothing wrong with them. This is a special boy. This is the Militaw with the DLC S45VN. It says gold dark matter handle. Oh. The DLC S45VN Militaw, this is not what I'm after. It's this. It to this day has been the most impressive thing Kaiser has ever produced from my perspective. So now we have a new variation of it because the last variation was purple. So this is gold. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's I'm fine with purple, but this is much more to my liking. Oh boy. Oh goodness. So now we have gold dark matter with DLC. Oh man. That is so wicked. This polished DLC is becoming very, very popular, but I have to point this out. I love what Kunwu does. I think that a satin DLC is beautiful. Absolutely. I have to point out that what Kaiser's doing, this is near mirror and is definitely a much higher polish than what we see from a lot of other companies doing this right now. This is such a beautiful knife. The Militaw that sound is just... The Militaw is definitely, I think, my favorite model from Kaiser. And it's not actually a Kaiser design. It is Jonathan's style. The overall profile here is very straightforward, right? Very traditional knife profile. But the exact placement of I'm going to call this the primary choil, and the fact that we have more of a triangle opening hole, right? The overall look is classic, but at the same time, it's unique. And the fact that we can get S45VN, which is really, really great. It's marginally different than S35VN. I always remind people that of the S30 series, right? S30, S35VN, S30V, S35VN, and S45VN. People, want to put S45VN up on a pedestal, but because it's new, right? And they assume it because number bigger, better. 45 bigger than 30, so 45 better. The reality is S30V actually still trumps all of them in edge retention. Only slightly over S45VN. S45VN boasts much higher corrosion resistance. So a lot of people consider it to be a better balance, but I need to be clear, it is marginal. So S45VN, great stuff, right? But it's not blowing steels like S30V completely out of the water. More importantly, though, it's cool to get a good balance like S45VN and have something like a true polished DLC. Not just, a black coating that is shiny. This is actually a DLC coating, which means it is extremely scratch resistant and extremely hard while offering actual corrosion resistance on top of a steel that is already ridiculously corrosion resistant. I mean, S45VN is going to approach M390 in terms of corrosion resistance. So that is wicked. I love this. Huge fan. I now have the purple one and the gold one. But my guess is by the time you guys are seeing this, there will be something on Kaiser's website. Last time it was if you signed up to be part of their group on Facebook, you could get a discount on the purple one. I would imagine that will be the case here too. And I also want to remind people, the last time when the purple one dropped, I made a big deal out of it on Instagram and here on YouTube, and then a bunch of people got upset because they only made a few, and people jumped in and grabbed them and then they were gone. Just the other day, I noticed that the purple one was back and then was gone again. So they clearly are trying to restock these. So not everybody is going to be able to get this stuff the moment that it drops. This is obviously going to be a sought after item, especially considering what Kaiser will inevitably price it at. But if you miss it, it's not like it's gone forever. You know, just pay attention to the Kaiser website, and surely they'll continue to do it. The other thing you have to remember, if they are willing to do a shiny DLC coating on this, they probably plan to do this with other popular models in the future. That would be my guess. That would be a smart move here. So I love this. I think this is really, really cool. And I honestly hope they continue to do lots of different variations of this. That would be really cool. Okay, these items will be linked, or rather probably like the Kaiser website will be linked. So you guys can check this stuff out along with anything else they have that's new right now. Any new models, probably going to check this guy out and this guy out. The brat doesn't seem to really be any different than the old brat, other than just the colors and the text string, so probably not there. But anyways, thank you so much to Kaiser. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do of course have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.